Hi, this is Grandma Jane and my beautiful daughter Elizabeth.
Hi.
And we're going to we've decided to share Leon's journey because we want other families to know what we're going through, especially my daughter. It's not about me, it's about Leon and Elizabeth. And we just want to make sure that other families can use our experiences or her experiences with Leon and our family dynamics. So I thought if a grandma was in, we'd have a different perspective as well, because I think both sides of the families struggle. Obviously, it's mainly about Leon and his parents and their
His
family,
struggles.
but grandmas struggle too, and there's all sorts of different struggles that we go through with autism, and we want everyone to be aware of it and how, as grandmothers, I can help her. And so today we're going to just talk a little bit about Leon and Izzy and just kind of give you a basic background and ask her some questions. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Leon.
Well, Leon is 5 years old and he's nonverbal autistic. We have a little puppy named Cass that loves Leon to death. And he is going in ABA therapy right now, which has helped a lot. Going through this journey, well, he was diagnosed at 3. I'll talk about more about his diagnosis and all that stuff at a later time. And yeah, it's been a journey, and I love this little burger boy forever. He's always doing something new every day and always improving, and yeah.
So when did you first notice that Leon was maybe autistic?
It was about maybe 13 months. He just wasn't speaking. It seemed like he just wasn't hearing us correctly. It just seemed like he had a hearing problem. And so we did hearing test after hearing test. I think we went to 3 different nose, ear, and throat specialists. And the first time it was inconclusive. Second time he wouldn't sit still. And then the third time they did a sedated hearing test. I still have some questions about his hearing a lot. Because he goes like this when we were there. So we thought it was an ear infection or that he needed tubes put in. And after speaking with a lot of parents and stuff that had similar issues with their kids, we thought that it would have been like really deep in there of an ear infection and that tubes would help him. But obviously it was a different story, so...
So what were you worried about when you finally did accept that he had autism?
Well, I think it was more of how people would treat him. I didn't want to tell anyone. My husband didn't really want to tell anyone. We thought that they would make fun of us. I thought my brothers were going to treat him differently. I thought people were going to see him in a different way. I cried because it was hard to accept it because I thought, oh my God, this kid's never gonna have friends. Because my friends meant a lot to me when I was growing up, and it's just hard to see that he could possibly never have friends, but I know that's not true. I mean, I work at a high school with a bunch of autistic kids, and I know it's not true, but it's different being nonverbal versus verbal. When you're on the autism, there's like different levels, and there's also different like ways of being autistic. Because it's a disorder, or it's a spectrum, so there's lots of things that could be on the spectrum. But because he's nonverbal, that's what is the most scariest part. If he was verbal, it would be way more easier to accept it. But because he's nonverbal, that's what was really hard for us.
Yeah. So how do you cope with all of the stress that you're under?
A lot of different ways. But one of the bad ways, I guess I should say it, is that I smoke cigarettes. But that's because it's my time away from Leon and my time away from my husband, and I need some time to myself, you know. And I know it's not an ideal, so I'm trying to work through it. But I also have a therapist, and then I also go to group therapy with or group support every month, and that helps out too. And but yeah, I know that's not a good idea, but yeah, that's one of the things that I kind of do, which I'm working on. So,
and that's one of our struggles too. I think as grandmothers and daughters, there's always going to be a struggle, and we have to make sure that we help, but don't help too much, and nag, but not too much. And it's a fine line as a grandmother, and it's a learning experience, as this is my first grandchild, of where to stop being a parent and when to become a grandmother. And I've always taught my kids to be independent, and but it's really hard to let go of those reins. So it's hard, and sometimes I probably overdo it just a little bit, nagging her. I really don't like that she smokes, so I'm on her all the time about that.
I'm trying.
But you know, everybody has to do things differently, and the main thing is that you make sure that at the end of the day, that your daughter or son love you, that they love, you know, that you love them.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, what is one positive thing that you would like to share about Leon's autism?
That I'm able to help other parents, and that it opened up a new world of like doing inclusion and making sure like no one has to go through this alone, and no one's alone. And I think one of the positive things is like that I mean, I've always been around kids that were autistic. I mean, I did Special Olympics with my dad when I was in high school, and then I helped my aunt when she was doing working with the kids with cerebral palsy and down in Florida. And I think I knew this was going to be my path growing up, because I've always been like that with kids like this. And I feel like now that it's been opened up more, I'm able to show other parents and help out other people, and I think that's awesome. Where I'm supposed to be.
I call them God wings, right? Yeah, we never knew why you picked, because you have to volunteer in high school when you're getting ready for college, and that Elizabeth picked doing Special Olympics, and then it was her and her dad that did that together. And, you know, I always wondered why she picked that. Not that it was a bad thing, just kind of a unique thing that she picked. And they used to go all over for Special Olympics, and they'd go on the trips to all of the state tournaments, and all the kids knew her, and Coach Elizabeth and Coach Matt.
Yep.
And I kind of call this one of our God winks, that now that we're looking back, we can see that he was preparing her for Leon.
Yep.
So that's great.
Yep.
Okay. And I know you have such a big heart that you want to share with everybody.
Oh, it's
so what do you want people to learn from this adventure that you're going on with Leon and everything that we're going to be doing?
Yeah, it's hard. One of the things that's really hard is that seeing like other people who you know have kids that are not on the spectrum, and how their kids are like happy and run around and playing with them. And I think that I want to share is that you're not alone, but like at the same time you feel alone because you see all your friends have kids that are, I wouldn't say normal, but you know, speaking, and they're laughing and playing with each other. And I think that's really hard.
And so you just want to let people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And that we felt alone, right?
Yeah,
and,
I did.
Trying to figure out different therapies and things. we felt like we didn't know where to go and begin, and so we kind of talked about sharing Leon's journey so that other people have a little bit of information that and they're not alone, and that they can have some guidance and hopefully learn from some of the things that you and Leon and Sunny have gone through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna...
My husband feels alone still. I think one of the things that everyone goes at their own pace, and I'm hoping that this maybe help him cope with Leon. Sometimes it's hard to, one of the things that's really hard is that you don't feel connection with him because he gets distracted so easily. You know, it's one of those things. It's really hard to, like, when you want to do something with him and then he only does it for like 5 seconds and then he goes and does his own thing. I think that's like really hard, and that's a huge toll on us too, because we want to push him, we want to go down the slide with him, we want to play games with him, but it's hard when he just wants to do his own thing or play cards for like 5 minutes and then that's it.
It's funny that he knows what you want him to do and he'll do it, but then he thinks he's done, and then he goes and does his own thing. So
he mostly wants to be by himself, which I think is really hard on me.
So we're gonna kind of just detail, and our hope is that people learn from this, and that families, not just the autistic family, obviously it's going to be the mother, the father, and the children are the most important part, but other family members too, and letting them know how you feel and just interactions with them. So, And did your brothers accept Leon?
Yeah. No one really.
So your fears
one really had a different change of attitude, and I also think it was mostly like when you see Leon, he doesn't look autistic, or
I don't think that doesn't matter.
I know, but like he doesn't look like he has a disability.
That's actually hard, I think, because and that's what frustrates me the most, is that he doesn't have a broken arm or something that says something's wrong with him. And so when people come up to you and he's doing his autistic things, they think he's just being naughty, and I don't want people to think my grandson is being naughty. And so that's another reason why we wanted to do this, right? Just to have awareness of level 3. I mean, everybody knows about autism, but level 3 is a whole new world.
Well, no one knows really about severe. They just think, okay, there's mild, or there's like very slim, but you're still autistic, and then there's Leon, who is severe.
Right. So
I mean, there's different severes. Like Leon's not like super severe, but like he doesn't have like where you really can't control him.
Sometimes it's hard.
Sometimes,
it's hard.
Yeah.
The nonverbal is the hardest, I think, because we can't tell what he's thinking. But so please follow along and ask questions as we go through these podcasts and videos, and contact us at the information on our YouTube channel or our podcast channel, and hopefully we can help some other people along the journey and help ourselves too, and know that we're not alone.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll be back in our next one.